Shut up, you worthless ghetto trash. Richard Whitmore's hand cracked across Dr. Maya Johnson's face. The force split her cheek open, blood streaming down onto her simple cardigan. Maya stumbled backward. Whitmore wasn't done. He ripped her worn purse away, flipping it upside down. Her belongings scattered across the marble: wallet, keys, reading glasses. Whitmore raised his $3,000 Italian shoe and stomped down hard on her glasses, grinding them into fragments. "Look at this cheap garbage," he spat, kicking her scattered items. "You don't belong here with civilized people. Go back to whatever Section 8 hole you crawled out of." Maya pressed her hand to her bleeding face, kneeling to gather her broken belongings. The Grandview Hotel lobby fell silent. 50 guests stared, phones lifted. A teenager near the fountain started filming. "Have you ever been humiliated in public and wished you had the power to fight back?" Maya knelt on the cold marble, gathering her scattered belongings with trembling hands. Blood dripped from her cheek onto her house keys. "Do you even belong here?" Whitmore loomed over her, his voice cutting through the lobby silence. "This isn't some welfare motel. This is the Grandview." He stepped closer, designer shoes clicking against marble. "Look at you. Second-hand clothes, plastic watch, probably can't even afford the valet parking." Maya's fingers found her reading glasses, now twisted metal and shattered lenses. She looked up at him, blood still flowing. "Sir, I'm just waiting for—" "Waiting!" Whitmore's laugh was sharp. "For what? Your cleaning shift to start?" Near the concierge desk, 17-year-old Emma Rodriguez couldn't believe what she was seeing. She'd been filming TikToks in the lobby when the slap happened. Now she quickly switched to Instagram Live. "OMG, guys, racist attack happening right now at Grandview Hotel," she whispered to her phone. The viewer count started climbing. 47, 134, 298. Patricia Carter, the afternoon manager, approached cautiously. She'd worked hospitality for 12 years, but this situation made her stomach clench. The guest in the expensive suit was clearly agitated, and there was blood on the floor. "Mr. Whitmore," Patricia said carefully, recognizing him from the VIP guest list. "Perhaps we could—" "Patricia, perfect timing." Whitmore turned to her, his tone shifting to practiced authority. "Please remove this woman immediately. She's disturbing other guests and clearly doesn't understand appropriate hotel etiquette." Patricia glanced at Maya, still kneeling, still bleeding. Something felt wrong. The woman's cardigan was simple but well-made. Her jeans were clean, pressed, and there was something familiar about her face. "Sir, perhaps if we could just understand what happened." "What happened?" Whitmore's voice rose. "Is that this person bumped into me, showed zero respect, and when I tried to correct her behavior, she became belligerent." Emma's live stream viewer count hit 847. Comments were flooding in. "Call police. Get his name. This is disgusting." Maya slowly stood, pressing a tissue to her cheek. From her scattered purse contents, she quietly retrieved a platinum card and a boarding pass. The card gleamed under the crystal chandeliers, definitely not standard credit. "There's been a misunderstanding," Maya said softly, her voice steady despite the blood. "I was simply waiting in the lobby when—" "Waiting?" Whitmore interrupted. "People like you don't wait in places like this. You work here or you leave." "People like me?" Maya's voice remained calm, but something shifted in her posture. "Don't play dumb." Whitmore gestured dismissively. "You know exactly what I mean. This is a 5-star establishment. Our guests expect certain standards." Security Chief Rodriguez appeared, summoned by Patricia's discreet signal. James, one of the guards, hung back slightly. Something about the bleeding woman nagged at him, a memory he couldn't quite place. "Ma'am," Rodriguez said formally, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises." "On what grounds?" Maya asked, still holding the tissue to her face. "Disturbing other guests." Emma's phone buzzed with notifications. Her live stream had hit 3,200 viewers. #Grandview racism was starting to trend. "Look what you've caused," Whitmore said to Maya, gesturing at the gathering crowd. "Security, please escort her out immediately. I have a board meeting in—" He checked his Patek Philippe watch. "Exactly 10 minutes. I cannot be late because of this disruption." Patricia pulled out her tablet, checking protocols. Her legal training kicked in. With this many people filming, every word mattered. "Sir, perhaps we should—" "Patricia." Whitmore's tone turned cold. I spend over $200,000 annually at Grandview Properties. She probably can't afford a coffee in your lobby cafe. Who exactly do you think the corporation wants you to prioritize? Maya finished collecting her belongings, the platinum card briefly visible as she slipped it into her pocket. The boarding pass showed a destination, Geneva, first class. I understand your position, Maya said to Patricia, her medical training evident in how calmly she assessed her own injury. But I believe there's been a significant misunderstanding about who belongs here. No misunderstanding, Whitmore snapped. You people need to learn your place in society. There are appropriate venues for your demographic. Security formed a loose circle around Maya. 3 guards, 1 manager, 50 onlookers, and thousands watching online. Emma whispered to her camera, "This is insane. They're about to arrest a bleeding woman for existing while black." The comments exploded. "Someone call the news. Where are the police? Grandview should be ashamed." Maya looked around the circle of uniformed men, then at Patricia, then finally at Whitmore. Her hand moved to her phone. "Before you escort me anywhere," Maya said quietly, "I suggest you call your general manager." Rodriguez frowned. "Ma'am, he's in meetings all afternoon." Maya's thumb hovered over a contact in her phone. The name at the top of her favorites list read simply, Marcus. "Then call Marcus Johnson," Maya said. "Now." Security guard James suddenly went very still. Johnson. That name, Patricia's face was drained of color. Johnson. As in... Johnson? Patricia whispered. Maya smiled for the first time since the slap. "Yes, Patricia, that Johnson." The lobby fell silent except for the soft splash of the fountain. Security guard James's hand slowly moved away from his radio. His eyes widened as recognition dawned. "Johnson," he whispered. "As in the owner?" Patricia's tablet slipped from her trembling fingers, clattering on the marble. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the sudden quiet. Whitmore, oblivious to the shift in atmosphere, rolled his eyes. "I don't care if she's related to the night janitor. Get her out of here, now." Emma's live stream viewer count exploded. 8,547, 12,893, 16,245. The comments were moving too fast to read. "Did she just say Johnson? The owner's name is Johnson. Oh my God, she's the boss. He's so screwed." But Maya said nothing more. She simply stood there, blood still trickling from her cheek, watching the realizations spread across the hotel staff's faces like ripples in a pond. Rodriguez cleared his throat nervously. "Ma'am, could you clarify what you mean by—" "I mean," Maya said calmly, "that before you lay another hand on me, you might want to verify exactly who you're about to assault." Whitmore checked his watch again. "This is ridiculous. I have the Meridian acquisition closing in 8 minutes. Patricia, either handle this or I'll call corporate myself." Patricia's mind raced. The Johnson family owned not just this hotel, but the entire Grandview chain, 47 properties across 3 countries. If this woman was... Her phone buzzed with an emergency notification from corporate. "Incident trending online. #Grandview racism. Legal demanding immediate report." 3 more security guards appeared from the elevator bank. Word was spreading through the hotel staff like wildfire. Whispered conversations erupted near the concierge desk, the bell stand, and the restaurant entrance. "Sir," one of the new guards said to Rodriguez, "we got calls from the executive floor. They want immediate status in the lobby situation." Whitmore's assistant called his phone. He answered impatiently. "Richard, the Meridian board moved the meeting up 15 minutes. They're waiting for you upstairs. I'm dealing with the situation." He snapped into the phone. "Some vagrant is causing problems, and this incompetent staff won't handle it." Emma caught every word on her live stream. Did he just call her a vagrant, while she's bleeding from where he hit her? The viewer count hit 19,000. Local news blogger Sarah Martinez had arrived and was typing furiously on her laptop from a lobby chair, live tweeting the entire incident. At Sarah Martinez News, breaking racial attack at luxury Grandview Hotel caught on live stream. White businessman assaults black woman, demands her removal. #Grandview racism. The tweet immediately gained traction, 247 retweets in 2 minutes. "Mr. Whitmore," Patricia said carefully, "perhaps we should pause until—" "Pause?" Whitmore's face reddened. Do you know who I am? Whitmore Industries has contracts with half the companies in this city. I personally recommended this hotel to the Meridian Board. One phone call from me and your occupancy rates dropped 20%. Patricia's phone rang again. This time she answered. Patricia, this is legal. We're watching a live stream of an incident in your lobby. We need immediate escalation protocols. Is that woman really claiming to be— I'll call you back, Patricia whispered, hanging up. Maya remained perfectly still in the center of the growing crowd, one hand pressed to her bleeding cheek, the other holding her phone. More guests had gathered on the mezzanine level above, looking down at the scene. An elderly couple approached the concierge desk. "Excuse me?" the woman said quietly. "Isn't that Dr. Johnson from the medical conference? She was featured in the Times last month." The concierge squinted at Maya, then went pale. I think you're right." Emma's stream hit 20,000 viewers. She was shaking with adrenaline. "Guys, I think she's actually the owner's wife," she whispered to her camera. "This dude just slapped the boss lady." A notification popped up on Maya's phone screen. Missed call from Marcus, then another, and another. "Ma'am," Rodriguez said, "we really need you to—" "Touch me," Maya interrupted quietly, "and find out exactly how much legal trouble this hotel can handle in one afternoon." Something in her tone made everyone freeze. This wasn't a threat. It was a statement of fact. The assistant manager, David, appeared from the business center, breathless. "Patricia, corporate is on line 1. They say there's a crisis management situation developing and—" He stopped mid-sentence, seeing the blood on Maya's face and the circle of security guards. "What the hell is happening here?" David demanded. "This gentleman," Maya said calmly, gesturing to Whitmore, "believes he has the authority to assault guests and order their removal based on his personal prejudices." "Personal prejudices?" Whitmore exploded. "I'm trying to maintain standards in this establishment. Look at her. She clearly doesn't belong here." David looked at Maya more carefully. Her cardigan was simple but clearly expensive. Her jeans were designer, and there was something familiar about her face. "Ma'am, have we met before?" he asked hesitantly. Maya's phone buzzed with a text. "Saw the live stream. On my way down. Marcus." A slow smile spread across Maya's face. "Something funny?" Whitmore demanded. "You think assaulting hotel guests is amusing?" "Assaulting?" Maya looked around the circle of witnesses. "Yes, let's talk about assault. You slapped me, destroyed my property, and used racial slurs, all captured on multiple cameras and broadcast to—" She glanced at Emma's phone. 21,000 people and counting. Sarah Martinez's laptop chimed with notifications. Her Twitter thread was exploding across social media platforms. "Now listen here." "No, you listen." Maya's voice remained soft, but every word cut like a blade. "You've made 3 critical errors today, Mr. Whitmore." She held up one finger. "First, you assumed you knew who I was based on my appearance." A second finger. "Second, you assumed this staff would prioritize your comfort over basic human decency." A third finger. "Third, and most importantly, you assumed you had more power in this situation than I do." The elevator dinged across the lobby. Maya's eyes flicked toward the sound, and her smile widened. "You're about to learn how wrong you were about all 3. Whitmore followed her gaze and saw a tall, imposing black man in an impeccable charcoal suit striding across the lobby. The staff immediately straightened, recognition and relief flooding their faces. "Who the hell is that?" Whitmore muttered. "That," Maya said, her voice filled with quiet satisfaction, "is my husband." The man approached their group with measured steps, his dark eyes taking in the scene, his wife's bleeding face, the scattered belongings, the circle of security guards, and the well-dressed white man standing defiantly in the center of it all. "Maya," he said softly, his voice carrying the weight of absolute authority. "Are you all right?" She touched her cheek. "I'm fine, Marcus, but we need to have a conversation about how your staff handles guests." Marcus Johnson, CEO of Grandview Holdings, owner of a $2.3 billion hotel empire, looked from his wife to Whitmore to the circle of nervous employees. "Patricia," he said quietly. "Rodriguez, James, conference room now." Then his eyes settled on Whitmore, who was finally beginning to understand that something had gone very, very wrong. "And Mr. Whitmore," Marcus continued, his tone pleasant but deadly, I believe you and I need to discuss your definition of appropriate behavior in my hotels. Emma's live stream exploded past 25,000 viewers as she whispered breathlessly to her camera, "Oh my God, she's married to the owner of the entire hotel chain. He just slapped the boss's wife." The lobby atmosphere shifted like air pressure before a storm. Marcus Johnson's presence commanded immediate attention. Even guests on the mezzanine level stopped their conversations to watch. Whitmore, still oblivious, stepped forward aggressively. "Listen, whoever you are, this woman has been disrupting my business meeting. I need her removed immediately." Marcus's eyes never left his wife's bleeding face. "Your business meeting?" "Yes, the Meridian acquisition. I'm Richard Whitmore of Whitmore Industries, and I don't have time for—" "Mr. Whitmore." Marcus's voice was perfectly calm. "Step away from my wife." The words hit the lobby like a physical blow. Emma's live stream exploded with reactions. "Wife! He said wife!" "Oh no, oh no, oh no. Whitmore's done." Whitmore blinked rapidly. "You're... what?" But Maya wasn't ready to reveal everything yet. Instead, she walked calmly to the concierge desk, her movements deliberate and controlled despite the blood on her cheek. "Maria," Maya said to the concierge, who immediately straightened with recognition and relief. "Mrs. Johnson, are you all right? Should I call the doctor?" "I'm fine. Please activate the executive override for Suite 3000. Maria's fingers flew over her keyboard. "Of course, ma'am, right away." She swiped Maya's platinum card through the reader. The system beeped once, then displayed in large green letters, "Executive override activated. Welcome, Mrs. Johnson, board chairwoman." Patricia's face went white as bone. She recognized that screen. Only 3 people in the world had executive override access: the CEO, the board chairman, and... Rodriguez stepped backward involuntarily. James removed his hand from his radio entirely. David, the assistant manager, stared at the screen in horror. "Mrs. Johnson, I'm exactly who I've always been," Maya said quietly. "The question is why your staff assumed otherwise." Whitmore was still processing. "Johnson, wait, are you saying you're married to some hotel employee?" Marcus almost smiled. "Patricia, would you like to explain to Mr. Whitmore exactly who he just assaulted?" Patricia's voice came out as a whisper. "Sir, this is Mrs. Dr. Maya Johnson. She's the chairman of the board of Grandview Holdings." The silence stretched for 10 full seconds. Emma's viewer count hit 32,000. Her voice was barely audible. "The chairman of the board. He didn't just slap the owner's wife, he slapped the boss of the owner." Whitmore's mouth opened and closed without sound. The color drained from his face like water from a broken dam. "No," he said finally. "No, that's impossible. Look at her. She's dressed like... she doesn't look like..." "Like what, Mr. Whitmore?" Maya's voice carried a new authority. "Like someone who belongs in your world?" Maya's phone rang. She answered the speaker. "Maya, baby, I saw the whole thing on the live stream," Marcus said through the phone, even though he was standing right there. "Are you hurt badly?" "I'm fine, Marcus, but we need to discuss security protocols and staff training." "Already in progress. Patricia Rodriguez, my office. 5 minutes." "Yes, sir," they said in unison. Whitmore found his voice. "There's been a misunderstanding. I didn't realize..." "You didn't realize what?" Maya interrupted. "That black women can own businesses? That we can afford luxury hotels? That we deserve basic human respect?" Around the lobby, phones were recording everything. Sarah Martinez was typing furiously, her Twitter thread gaining momentum by the minute. I apologize if there was any confusion." "Confusion?" Marcus stepped closer to Whitmore. "You slapped my wife. You destroyed her property. You called her racial slurs, on camera, in front of witnesses." Maya held up her hand. She wasn't done revealing the full scope of Whitmore's mistake. "Mr. Whitmore, you mentioned the Meridian acquisition?" Maya asked conversationally. "Yes, it's a critical deal for my company." "The one scheduled for Conference Room B on the 47th floor?" Whitmore nodded eagerly, grasping for any connection that might save him. Maya smiled. "I should mention, I'm the lead consultant on that deal. The Johnson Foundation holds the deciding vote on the acquisition approval." The lobby went silent again. Even the fountain seemed quieter. What? Whitmore's voice cracked. The medical research component of the Meridian deal? That's my specialty. The board specifically requested my assessment before proceeding. Emma whispered to her camera. She's not just the hotel owner. She's deciding whether his business deal happens. In fact, Maya continued, pulling out her phone, I believe you're about 5 minutes late for our meeting. She showed him her calendar. There it was. 3 p.m., Meridian Acquisition Review, Richard Whitmore, CEO. Whitmore stared at the screen like it was written in hieroglyphics. So let me understand this correctly, Maya said, her voice clinical and precise. You assaulted the person who determines whether your company's most important deal gets approved, in my hotel, on live stream, in front of 35,000 witnesses. Whitmore swayed slightly, as if the ground had shifted beneath his feet. Marcus shook his head. Maya, I think Mr. Whitmore needs to sit down. No, Maya said firmly. Mr. Whitmore needs to understand exactly what he's done, and exactly what's going to happen next. She looked around the lobby, at the staff, at the guests, at the cameras still recording. Ladies and gentlemen, Maya announced clearly, this is Dr. Maya Johnson, chairman of Grandview Holdings. What you've witnessed today is unacceptable in our hotels, in our society, and in our world. Emma's live stream hit 40,000 viewers. Comments were flowing like a waterfall. Justice is coming. Get him, Maya. This is legendary. Maya turned back to Whitmore, who was still staring at her in disbelief. You said I needed to know my place, Mr. Whitmore, Maya said softly. Let me show you what that place actually is. Maya pulled out her laptop and set it on the marble concierge counter. The screen came alive, projecting financial data onto the lobby's large display monitor for everyone to see. Let's discuss numbers, Mr. Whitmore, Maya said, her voice carrying the authority of someone who controlled billions, since you seem to believe economic leverage matters more than human decency. The first slide appeared. Grandview Holdings, annual revenue, $2. $347 billion. Whitmore stared at the massive number, his earlier confidence evaporating. Your annual spending across our 47 properties, Maya continued, clicking to the next slide, totals $347,000. That represents exactly 0.0148% of our revenue. Emma's live stream chat exploded. She's destroying him with math. The next slide showed a pie chart. Whitmore's contribution was a sliver so thin it was barely visible. To put that in perspective, Maya said calmly, we make your entire annual spending in approximately 6 hours. Patricia watched from the sidelines, her hands trembling as she realized the magnitude of what had occurred. This wasn't just an incident. It was a complete corporate disaster unfolding in real time. Marcus stepped closer to the display. Maya, show him the guest policy. Maya nodded and pulled up the official Grandview Guest Code of Conduct. She read aloud, Section 12, 3. Discrimination, harassment, or assault against any person on Grandview properties results in immediate banishment from all facilities and potential legal action. Section 12.4. Violations involving racial bias carry additional penalties, including contract termination for corporate clients. The policy filled the screen in large, clear text. Every guest in the lobby could read the exact words that now applied to Whitmore's situation. Rodriguez shifted uncomfortably, realizing how close he'd come to violating company policy by supporting the aggressor. Whitmore's phone was buzzing frantically. His assistant, his lawyers, his board members, everyone was calling after seeing the viral live stream. Your company holds office leases in 12 of our commercial properties, Maya continued, clicking through detailed spreadsheets. Annual value, $2.8 million. Your tech firm has partnerships with Johnson Medical Foundation worth $15.7 million annually. She clicked again. Your personal investment portfolio includes $3.2 million in Johnson Holdings stock. Your company's pension fund has $47 million invested in our various enterprises. Emma whispered to her camera. He's invested in the company of the woman he just attacked. More data filled the screen. Contract details, lease agreements, partnership terms, all interconnected with the Johnson empire. You can't, Whitmore stammered. You can't destroy my entire business over one incident. One incident? Maya's voice cut like ice. Let me show you what this one incident really represents. She opened her phone and began reading from her contacts. Senator Williams, Committee Chair for Corporate Accountability. Attorney General Morrison's office, Justice Department Civil Rights Division, FBI Hate Crimes Unit. Each name hit Whitmore like a physical blow. You see, Mr. Whitmore, I'm not just a hotel owner. I'm the lead medical consultant for the Federal Discrimination Task Force. This incident isn't just a hotel matter, it's a federal case study. The screen changed to show Maya's government credentials, Department of Justice consultant badge, Federal Medical Advisory Board membership, Civil Rights Task Force leadership position. Emma whispered breathlessly to her 45,000 viewers, "She's connected to the FBI. This keeps getting bigger." Sarah Martinez typed furiously from her corner, "Breaking! Federal discrimination consultant assaulted at luxury hotel. Justice Department involvement is imminent." Maya's expression remained perfectly controlled. "You have 3 choices, Mr. Whitmore, and I suggest you choose wisely." She held up one finger. Choice 1. Public apology, $250,000 donation to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, completion of federal sensitivity training, and submission to quarterly bias assessments for 3 years. 2 fingers. Choice 2. Complete banishment from all Johnson properties, immediate termination of all business contracts, and civil rights lawsuits seeking maximum damages under federal hate crime statutes. 3 fingers. Choice 3. I make 1 phone call to Senator Williams about instituting federal oversight of your company's hiring and promotion practices, plus a full Justice Department investigation. Whitmore's face had gone gray. His phone continued buzzing. Investors, board members, panicked executives all trying to reach him as the situation spiraled out of control. "The Meridian deal," he whispered. "Already canceled," Maya said matter-of-factly. "I called them during your little speech about where I belong. They're quite concerned about associating with companies that tolerate racial violence." She clicked to show an email timestamp, 3:17 p.m. Meridian's board voted unanimously to suspend all negotiations pending resolution of this incident. Around the lobby, hotel guests were watching in fascination. Some were recording, others were applauding quietly. The elderly couple from earlier nodded approvingly. Maya opened another screen. "Your company stock is down 7% in pre-market trading. Social media mentions are 89% negative. 3 major clients have already called our legal department asking about contract cancellations." The laptop displayed real-time social media analytics. #Grandview racism trending worldwide. #Whitmore Industries becoming synonymous with discrimination. Tesla canceled their software contract, $12 million annually, Maya read from incoming emails. Microsoft suspended your cloud services partnership. Goldman Sachs is reviewing their investment position. "Please," Whitmore said, his voice breaking. "I have employees, shareholders, families depending on... You should have thought about them before you decided my face was an appropriate target for your prejudice," Maya replied coldly. Marcus stepped forward. "Mr. Whitmore, my wife is being generous. If this were up to me, you'd already be facing federal charges." "Federal charges?" Whitmore's voice cracked. Maya nodded. "Assault in federal facilities. This hotel hosts government conferences, civil rights violations, possible RICO charges if we find patterns of discrimination in your business practices." She clicked to another screen showing legal precedents. Average settlement for similar cases, $2.3 million. Average jail time, 18 months. Career destruction, permanent. The legal data was overwhelming. Case numbers, conviction rates, sentencing guidelines, all applicable to Whitmore's situation. Emma's viewer count hit 52,000. Comments were moving too fast to read. "Give him choice 3. Make him pay. Justice for Maya." "But," Maya continued, "I believe in rehabilitation over revenge. Choose option 1, Mr. Whitmore. Publicly acknowledge your behavior, make meaningful amends, and commit to genuine change." She leaned forward slightly. "You have 60 seconds to decide." Whitmore looked around the lobby, at the cameras, at the disgusted faces of other guests, at his phone buzzing with increasingly desperate calls from his company. If I choose option 1, the contracts will remain in place contingent on your completion of all requirements and 0 further incidents. The Meridian deal will be reconsidered after you complete bias training and demonstrate genuine behavioral change over 6 months. 45 seconds, Marcus said. Whitmore's hands were shaking. I need guarantees that... 30 seconds. What about my reputation? Maya's smile was cold. Your reputation is already destroyed, Mr. Whitmore. I'm offering you a chance to rebuild it through actions instead of excuses. 15 seconds. Sweat beaded on Whitmore's forehead. Around him, 50 people waited for his answer. Online, tens of thousands watched in real time. 10 seconds. Whitmore looked at Maya's bleeding face, at the broken glasses still scattered on the floor, at the evidence of his violence displayed for the world to see. 5 seconds. I choose option 1, he whispered. The lobby erupted in murmurs. Emma squealed into her phone. He took the deal. Excellent choice, Maya said. Patricia, please prepare a formal incident report. Rodriguez, secure all security footage. David, contact our legal department to draft the compliance agreement. She turned to Whitmore. You'll apologize publicly, on camera, right here, right now. Then you'll begin the process of making this right. Maya gestured to Emma, who was still live streaming. Miss, would you mind recording Mr. Whitmore's statement for your audience? Emma nodded eagerly, pointing her phone directly at Whitmore. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Whitmore, Maya said. 60,000 people are waiting to hear your apology. Whitmore looked into the camera, his career, his reputation, and his future balanced on the words he was about to speak. He began, his voice barely audible. I owe Dr. Maya Johnson a profound apology. The lobby fell silent except for the soft hum of phones recording what would become one of the most viral apology videos in social media history. Whitmore stood before Emma's camera, sweat beading on his forehead as 63,000 viewers waited for his words. The silence stretched for 10 excruciating seconds. He began again, his voice cracking. I attacked Dr. Maya Johnson today based on racial prejudice and ignorance. There is no excuse for my behavior. His hands shook as he continued. I made assumptions about Dr. Johnson based solely on her race and appearance. I was completely wrong. I physically assaulted her, destroyed her property, and used language that was inexcusable. Maya watched silently, her expression unreadable as blood continued to seep through the tissue pressed to her cheek. I will donate $250,000 to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Whitmore continued, reading from notes Maya had provided. I will complete federal sensitivity training and submit to quarterly bias assessments for 3 years. I will also personally fund bias prevention training for all employees at my company. The apology continued for another minute, each word broadcast live to an audience that had grown to include major news networks monitoring the viral incident. Emma's chat exploded with reactions. Took him long enough. Justice served. Maya is a queen. CNN had picked up the live stream feed. Fox News was preparing breaking news coverage. The incident had transcended social media and entered mainstream consciousness. But Maya wasn't finished. This incident would become a catalyst for something much larger. Thank you, mister. Thank you. Whitmore, Maya said when he concluded. Patricia, please escort Mr. Whitmore to complete his paperwork. He has 72 hours to submit proof of his donation. As Whitmore was led away, Maya turned to address the crowd that had gathered, hotel guests, staff, and the online audience still watching through multiple live streams. Ladies and gentlemen, Maya announced, her voice carrying the authority that had built a billion-dollar empire. What happened here today is unacceptable, but it's also an opportunity. She gestured to Marcus, who approached with a tablet containing prepared documents that legal teams had been drafting throughout the incident. Effective immediately, Grandview Holdings is implementing the most comprehensive anti-discrimination protocol in the hospitality industry. We're calling it Maya's Protocol. The crowd murmured with interest. Emma adjusted her camera angle to capture every word. Local news crews were arriving, setting up equipment in the lobby. Maya outlined the first component. Real-time bias reporting through our new mobile application. Every guest and employee can report discrimination incidents with GPS location, photo and video upload, and anonymous protection. Marcus pulled up the app interface on the lobby's display screen. The prototype had been in development for months. This incident provided the perfect launch opportunity. Response time guaranteed within 3 minutes anywhere on our properties. Our security teams are being retrained specifically for bias incident intervention by former FBI civil rights investigators. Second, Maya continued, we're investing $5 million annually in mandatory diversity and anti-bias training. Not corporate workshops, real education developed in partnership with the Justice Department. She clicked through detailed curriculum slides, implicit bias recognition, de-escalation techniques, cultural competency, legal frameworks, and intervention strategies. Patricia, who had returned from processing Whitmore's paperwork, stepped forward. Mrs. Johnson, will this training apply to management as well? Especially management, Maya replied firmly. 40 hours annually for every employee, from housekeeping to executive leadership. No exceptions. Training records will be publicly audited quarterly. Rodriguez, still visibly shaken by how close he'd come to making a catastrophic mistake, raised his hand. What about enforcement, ma'am? Maya smiled, the first genuine smile since the incident began. Excellent question. Third component, an independent bias incident review board with authority to terminate anyone at any level for discriminatory behavior. The board composition appeared on screen: civil rights attorneys, community leaders, former Justice Department officials, and employee representatives. The lobby buzzed with conversation. This wasn't just policy change, it was an industry revolution. Fourth, artificial intelligence monitoring of our security systems to detect aggressive behavior patterns and alert supervisors immediately. No more incidents will go unnoticed. Marcus added technical details. The AI system will analyze voice stress, aggressive postures, and crowd dynamics. When potential bias incidents are detected, alerts go to management, security, and our legal team simultaneously. The technology demonstration showed real-time analysis of lobby interactions with color-coded threat assessments and automatic recording triggers. Fifth, guest behavioral scoring, Maya announced. Discriminatory behavior will follow guests across all our properties. Repeat offenders lose access permanently. Emma whispered to her camera. She's basically creating a discrimination credit score for hotel guests. This is revolutionary. The scoring system interface showed detailed metrics: previous incident reports, staff interaction ratings, complaint patterns, and social media behavior analysis. Maya wasn't done. Sixth, financial incentives for bias prevention. Employees who successfully intervene in discrimination incidents receive bonuses ranging from $500 to $5,000. Departments with zero bias reports get additional funding for equipment and training. The crowd was hanging on every word. Sarah Martinez was typing frantically, already drafting the story that would make international headlines within hours. Seventh, partnership with civil rights organizations for ongoing monitoring and assessment. We're not grading ourselves. External experts will evaluate our progress quarterly. Partnership agreements appeared on screen: NAACP, Anti-Defamation League, Southern Poverty Law Center, and local community organizations. Marcus stepped forward. We're also working with Senator Williams to propose federal legislation requiring similar protocols across the entire hospitality industry. Maya nodded. This incident with Mr. Whitmore reminded me why we started the Johnson Foundation. Education changes hearts, but accountability changes behavior. She looked directly into Emma's camera. To everyone watching, this is how we respond to hate, not with violence, not with revenge, but with systematic change that protects everyone who comes after. The applause started slowly, then built to a roar. Hotel guests, staff members, and even some of the security guards who had initially supported Whitmore were clapping enthusiastically. Technology integration will begin next week, Maya announced over the applause. The bias reporting app launches in 30 days across all 47 properties. Training starts immediately. Patricia approached with a legal document. Mrs. Johnson Corporate Legal has approved the protocol implementation. They're also recommending we share the framework with industry competitors. Excellent, Maya replied. We're not looking for competitive advantage here. We're looking for industry transformation. Marcus pulled up financial projections. Initial investment, $5 million annually. Expected benefit, increased customer satisfaction, reduced legal costs, improved staff retention, and enhanced brand reputation. Early modeling showed potential revenue increases of $47 million annually from improved customer loyalty and positive publicity. The numbers are already improving, Patricia reported, checking her tablet. Guest satisfaction surveys from just the last hour show a 23% increase in positive ratings. Social media sentiment analysis showed overwhelmingly positive responses to Maya's leadership and the hotel's response. Emma's viewer count had stabilized at 78,000, with thousands of comments praising Maya's approach and sharing their own discrimination experiences. "One more thing," Maya said, addressing the crowd. "Mr. Whitmore's incident was captured by a brave young woman who chose to document injustice rather than ignore it." She gestured to Emma. "Miss Rodriguez, please join me." Emma approached nervously, still holding her phone, overwhelmed by the attention and positive response to her live stream. "For your courage in documenting discrimination and helping hold someone accountable, Grandview Holdings is awarding you a $10,000 scholarship and an internship in our Civil Rights Compliance Department." Emma's jaw dropped. The live stream chat went wild. Emma got rewarded. Justice for everyone. Maya is changing the world. "We need more people willing to stand up and speak out," Maya continued. "Bystander intervention saves lives and prevents injustice." Marcus announced the final component, staff empowerment protocols. Any employee can now immediately ban discriminatory guests without management approval. Protection from retaliation is guaranteed by law. Legal protections were comprehensive. Wrongful termination insurance, legal defense funds, and whistleblower rewards for reporting discrimination. James, the security guard who had initially recognized Maya's name, stepped forward. "Mrs. Johnson, I should have acted sooner. I knew something wasn't right." Maya nodded appreciatively. "James, you did recognize the situation. Going forward, trust that instinct. You have the authority and protection to intervene immediately." Rodriguez added, "Ma'am, what about staff who make mistakes like I almost did?" "Education, not termination," Maya replied. "Unless the behavior is intentionally discriminatory, mistakes born from confusion can be corrected through training." Patricia checked her phone. "Mrs. Johnson, we're getting calls from Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt. They want to license Maya's protocol for their properties." "Schedule meetings for next week," Maya instructed. "This framework belongs to the industry, not just to us." The lobby had transformed from a scene of violence and discrimination into a classroom for social justice. Hotel guests were asking questions, staff members were taking notes, and online viewers were sharing the live stream globally. "One final announcement," Maya said. "We're establishing the Dignity Awards, annual recognition for businesses that eliminate bias through systematic change, not just corporate statements." Award criteria included measurable discrimination reduction, employee satisfaction improvements, community partnership development, and innovative prevention technologies. She looked around the lobby one last time, taking in the faces of people who had witnessed both the worst and best of human behavior in a single afternoon. "Power isn't about controlling others," Maya concluded. "It's about creating systems where everyone's dignity is protected automatically." The applause was thunderous. Emma's live stream reached 85,000 viewers as Maya and Marcus walked toward the elevators, leaving behind a hotel and an industry forever changed. 6 months later, Maya stood at the podium of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, addressing delegates from 193 countries. The same woman who had been slapped and humiliated in a hotel lobby was now presenting the Grandview model as a global standard for bias prevention. "Today I speak not as a victim," Maya began, her voice carrying across the assembly hall, "but as proof that dignity isn't negotiable and systematic change is possible." Behind her, a massive screen displayed the results. 0 discrimination incidents across all 47 Grandview properties. Guest satisfaction up 34%. Staff retention improved 52%. Revenue increased $73 million. In the audience, Emma Rodriguez, now a sophomore at Harvard studying civil rights law on her Grandview scholarship, live-streamed the speech to her 2.3 million followers. "6 months ago, a man named Richard Whitmore believed he could determine my worth based on my skin color," Maya continued. "Today, his actions have sparked a movement that spans continents." The transformation had been remarkable. Maya's protocol wasn't just implemented, it had become the industry gold standard. The personal transformations. Back in Chicago, Richard Whitmore completed his 200th hour of community service at a Southside community center. The humbled executive now worked directly with families affected by discrimination, his quarterly bias assessments consistently showing genuine improvement. "Dr. Johnson saved my life," he told the camera crew documenting his journey. "She could have destroyed me. but instead she chose to reform me. His company, after initial stock losses, had recovered stronger than ever. The mandatory bias training had improved workplace culture so dramatically that employee satisfaction reached all-time highs. 3 major contracts, initially lost, had been restored. Emma Rodriguez had become a symbol of youth activism. Her TikTok account at Emma for Justice reached millions with stories of everyday heroes standing up to discrimination. She documented 47 successful bias interventions by viewers who learned courage from her original live stream. "That day taught me that bystanders have power," Emma said in a recent CNN interview. "When we see injustice, we can't just scroll past, we have to act." Patricia Carter was promoted to Regional Vice President of Guest Experience, leading bias prevention training across the Western region. Her leadership during the crisis had demonstrated that managers could choose humanity over profit. Rodriguez and James became the first graduates of Grandview's new Civil Rights Security Certification program, now teaching other hotels how to intervene in discrimination incidents effectively. The systemic impact. Maya's protocol had spread far beyond hotels. Airlines adopted the guest scoring system. Restaurants implemented the real-time reporting app. Retail chains licensed the AI monitoring technology. The ripple effects were measurable. 347 hotels worldwide using Maya's protocol. 2,847 documented discrimination incidents prevented in year 1. $47 million in legal costs avoided across participating companies. 89% reduction in bias-related complaints. Industry-wide federal legislation had passed unanimously. The Maya Johnson Civil Rights in Commerce Act required bias prevention protocols for any business serving the public. Senator Williams had called it the most significant civil rights advancement in decades. Corporate America had taken notice. The Dignity Awards attracted 500 company applications, with winners showing average profit increases of 23% after implementing comprehensive bias prevention. The technology revolution. The bias reporting app had evolved into a comprehensive platform. Users could report incidents with automatic legal documentation, access immediate support resources and counseling, connect with civil rights attorneys for free consultations, track resolution progress in real time, join community support networks. AI monitoring had prevented thousands of incidents before they escalated. The system, now used in airports, shopping centers, and government buildings, could detect microaggressions and alert trained intervention specialists. Technology amplifies human values, Maya explained to the UN delegates. When we code dignity into our systems, we create automatic protection for everyone. The educational legacy. Maya's story has become a required curriculum in business schools worldwide. Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton taught the Grandview case study as the definitive example of crisis leadership and stakeholder capitalism. Over 15,000 managers had completed the Johnson Foundation's Bias Prevention Certification. The program's 99.7% completion rate and 94% participant satisfaction demonstrated that people genuinely wanted to learn and improve. Education without accountability is just performance, Maya told a gathering of Fortune 500 CEOs. Real change requires consequences and rewards. Medical schools integrated Maya's research on bias in healthcare. Her work with the Justice Department had identified systemic discrimination in patient treatment, leading to new protocols that had already saved lives. The continuing mission. As Maya concluded her UN speech, she looked directly into the cameras broadcasting to millions worldwide. "The work isn't finished," she declared. "Every day someone faces discrimination. Every day someone has the choice to intervene or ignore. Every day we decide what kind of world we're building." The Johnson Foundation had grown into a $500 million organization, funding bias prevention research, supporting discrimination victims, and developing new technologies for social justice. Maya and Marcus had pledged to donate 80% of their wealth to continuing this work. "Money is temporary," Marcus had said. "Justice is eternal." The global movement, from Seoul to Sao Paulo, from London to Lagos, the Maya moment had inspired countless individuals to document and challenge discrimination. Social media campaigns used #KnowYourPlace, reclaimed from Whitmore's original insult, to share stories of dignity and resistance. Young activists worldwide carried signs reading, "Dignity isn't negotiable," and "Systems change everything." The phrase had been translated into 73 languages, becoming a rallying cry for social justice movements globally. Universities reported increased enrollment in civil rights law, social justice studies, and bias psychology. A generation of students, inspired by Maya's example, were choosing careers dedicated to systematic change. The personal philosophy. I learned that day that power isn't about controlling others, Maya told Emma's followers in a final live stream interview. It's about creating systems where everyone's dignity is protected automatically. She reflected on the journey from victim to global leader. When someone tries to put you in a box based on their prejudices, you don't have to stay there. But more importantly, you can make sure that box never traps anyone else. The interview, watched by 4.7 million people live, ended with Maya's challenge to viewers. Call to action. I need each of you to do 3 things, Maya said, looking directly into the camera. First, share your story. In the comments below, tell us about a time you witnessed or experienced discrimination. Your voice matters, and your story can inspire someone else to act. Second, be an active bystander. Download the bias reporting app. Learn intervention techniques. When you see injustice, document it, report it, challenge it safely. Third, support systematic change. Subscribe to Blacktail Stories for more justice transformation stories. Follow the Johnson Foundation for updates on bias prevention research. Vote for leaders who prioritize civil rights. She paused, the weight of transformation evident in her eyes. 6 months ago, Richard Whitmore told me to know my place. Today, I know my place is wherever dignity needs defending, wherever systems need changing, wherever people need hope. This story isn't about revenge, it's about prevention. When we change systems, we change lives. When we change lives, we change the world. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for joining this movement. Together, we're building a world where no one has to endure what I experienced in that lobby. Subscribe, share, and remember, your dignity matters. Everyone's dignity matters, and together we can protect it.